right, so we made it. It was a long road to get to Requiem, but we got there, and I got a ass load to cover. This is my second take of this because I didn't like the first take, but we got a lot to cover, and I'm not gonna do a lot of pre-talking. I will say this though before I officially begin. I have not physically sat and played Requiem. I am not one of those kind of people. I don't play horror games anymore. It's just too much for me to handle. I'm too old, too impatient, and I do not have cheat codes. When I used to play back in the day, I used to play with cheat codes, and I don't give a damn how you feel about it. It was just, I wanted to play these games because I love them, and I had the ability to be able to play them without throwing up all over myself because I get that damn scared. So since they don't cheat codes for these games don't exist anymore, I don't play them. I just watch. So my experience with Resident Evil 9 is going to be a little bit different than it would be if I actually sat and played the game. And some of the things that I look for in playing these games is I look for, is it scary? Does the fear kind of stick to you? Was the story really good? You know, stuff along those lines. Like, did I jump a lot? Did I scream a lot? I look for those kind of things because there are some games that are good to physically play. There are some games that are better when you're just a watcher. And then there's some games that straddle the line between both. I will say up front, this straddles the line between both. I think this is probably fun to play, and also it's a very good watch. So I will say that. I will try to keep all spoilers toward the end, but again, I'm 2 minutes in. We got a shitload of stuff to cover. Let me get started because I got my book. It's 12. I have literally 12 pages front and back to cover for the story. So let's get it started. So, sorry to win. Our adventure begins at the FBI office of one Grace Ashcroft, and she's typing a report. And she's typing a report up like, there's like this random disease happening. There's all these black blotches on folks. Nobody knows what's going on. And her boss comes in, and before he comes into the sequence, basically, she's reading an article. The article says, one, that Raccoon City is going to be shut down until the year 2040. So if you thought you were going to be tra-la-la through Raccoon City in the year 2026, which is a year that this game takes place, it just takes place in October, that ain't happening. They shut that down till 2040. So Raccoon City shut down till 2040. Also in the newspaper article, it makes a very strong point to show you that the United States has pulled out of whatever bioweapons prohibition pact was going on. I guess that's something that's going on. So yeah, in that world, the U.S. has pulled out of whatever treaties for not using bioweapons, and they're just like, that's what we doing, ha ha, fuck you. So Grace's boss comes in, he's like, I need to talk to you in my office. She goes to his office. He's like, we found another body, and I need a good analyst to go to this hotel that you're real familiar with, because she got a lot of trauma there. So you can walk that off, though, but I need you to go. I wouldn't have went. I'd have been like, we are all good. We're going back to a place that's real fucked up for me. No, thank you. But she, being a nice person that she is, or the crazy hoe that she is, she like, I guess I'll figure it out. I'll walk it off. Bitch, there is no walking that off. And I will tell you why in a moment. So, cut to the next scene, which is the official start of the game. The hotel. So, I cannot remember the name of the hotel. I did not write this down like a dumbass. But she goes to the hotel where her trauma occurs. And she meets up with some cop. The cop lets her into the crime scene where they found the body at. And she goes in and is immediately given Resident Evil 7 when you first go into the Baker estate, that outer part of the Baker estate where them sewer gators people were. Remember that? Remember when that was happening? It gave me those kind of vibes. And then as she traverses deeper into the hotel, it gets, you know, a little less like that, but still in that same vein. So she sees a picture of herself with a key on the back of it, and it's like, hey, hot stuff. It didn't say hot stuff, but it's like, meet me in room 204 so we can talk. I'd have been like, yeah, no, we are all good. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. But she takes it like a champ and goes to room 204. She goes in, and there's all these pictures on the bed of her and her mom, and it triggers a flashback sequence. So the flashback sequence is she and her mom were staying at their hotel because they've been moving around a lot to keep Grace safe from some unknown situation. And Grace gets a call, and then her mom is like, oh shit, they're coming and we gotta dip. So they start running around, and because the lights are out the hotel, the mom's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And they run into some guy, and the guy's like, oh, our system is kind of old, I'll fix it. But before he could do a damn thing, somebody rolls up behind him, puts a bag over his head, and just straight up murks this poor man who was just at work trying to make it work. Everybody's screaming. Grace's mom, Alyssa, was not about the bullshit. She starts blasting away. I can't say that I blame her, because I did the same trash. She had a shooty too cutie on her, so she started blasting away, and they run. Basically they run to a safe place. Grace is freaking out, rightly so. I'd have been freaked out too. And as her mother's trying to console her to get her to calm down, the guy that she blasted came up behind Alyssa and like super murks her mother. It is real gruesome and bad. And basically, after he kills Alyssa, he drops from all the holes she put in him. And whoever was the voice actress for Grace, she did a damn good job, because I was literally in here crying, because she was screaming and crying, and that's kind of a weak spot for me when people start screaming and crying. So, and then because when dude dropped, it started burning the hotel down. So that was the end of the flashback. And then Grace is like, I'm sorry, I couldn't save you, Mom. What the fuck could you have done? Dude literally snuck her. He snuck her. So there wouldn't have been a thing you could have did, because he snuck the shit out of her. So the cop eventually comes in. He's like, something stung me. And then he starts turning into a monster. So she has to run from him. Side note, this kind of reminds me of The Evil Within, the game from the horror game from 2014. It reminds me of the assignment part where you're playing with Kidman, and then you're in that fucked up world in The Evil Within, and like Oscar is turned into one of the haunted, and he's like talking all weird, and he knocks her onto the ground. Kind of the tables are turned here. Grace knocks the police officer out a window, and he face plants into the ground. It's just like, getting strong Evil Within vibes here. What the fuck is going on? And I will be singing that a lot. But basically, she runs into Victor Gideon, Dr. Victor Gideon, who, by the way, I am sorry, he looked like somebody badly fucked up taxidermied a orangutan with a hairless orangutan. And then he had like these gold teeth, but it was like real fucked up teeth, or like fucked up grills. I don't know what was going on there. That man needed an orthodontist, something terrible. But ew, she runs into him. He's all fucked up and creepy, and she tries to run, but he chokes her out, and she passes out, and he takes her out of the hotel. Just in the nick of time, Leon pulls up and was like, I don't know what's happening. He sees Victor Gideon. He's like, oh shit, that's the dude we looking for. And like, he starts to get ready to chase him. Victor sees Leon and is like, oh shit, I gotta dip. And because he got Grace slung over his gross shoulder, some lady walking by, she's like, the fuck? And he's like, don't worry about it, I got this. And shoots this lady that's like a bystander trying to be on, shouldn't be standing by, to be honest, but whatever. He shoots the bystander lady, shoots a bunch of other people that were just walking in the damn neighborhood. And they all start turning. That lady he shot kisses some dude. She bites his face literally off, and like all this bedlam happens, and it's just like, well, damn. And Victor gets away. Leon's like, well, damn, I need to go find this chick because he just stole some chick, and we gonna find where he at. And Sherry, who he's communicating with, no, Hunnigan. Where the fuck was Hunnigan? Neither here nor there. Sherry's like, I think we know where he gonna hang out at. We got this. Go find them people, and that's what happens. So, part 2, where we get, or my fault, we're up to part 3. The Rose Hill Care Center. So, the majority of this is Grace. At first, it's kind of Grace Leon. Like, you start off as Grace, you're upside down. Also an Evil Within reference, because in the Evil Within, after Sebastian goes into the STEM world, he wakes up and he's hogtied upside down, and he has to grab a knife out of a dead guy, swing, and cut himself down. I find it interesting, all these little parallels. Like I said, I will be going back and forth with that for a while. This is going to be long. So, she breaks free, but she encounters some real fucked up monster, and then Leon comes in. Leon is greeted by some nurse, and she's like, we've been expecting you. Then there's like some exposition. Oh, Dr. Gideon's been experimenting on people with experimental treatments. That don't sound kosher, but what the fuck ever. Then like there's like a siren, and they're like, it's an emergency. The nurse comes in because she had left him for like a hot minute. The nurse comes back like, oh shit, we gotta dip. Leon's like, the fuck? She's like getting ready to dip. This chainsaw wielding doctor comes up and chainsaws this lady. Leon's like, way to go, Leon. You could have been the hero there, but you were just sitting there stuck on fucking stupid. And it's just like, the fuck, bitch, okay. You saw the chainsaw. You had like a couple seconds open to you. Why didn't you help this chick out? But again, oh well. She ain't make it. Leon starts blasting. Monsters start monstering. Then at some point, Grace, we go back to Grace. She finds some girl. Oh, wait a second. Before I do that. Okay. After Leon dips, we come back to Grace, who's trying to get away from that fucked up monster. And he shoots the fucked up monster, and that's how he officially meets Grace. And he gives Grace the Requiem gun. And basically, there's like this bar coming down, so they're separated. So we're back on 2 separate adventures again. So Grace, we start off with Grace. Grace finds some blind girl named Emily in a cage. Honestly, she was probably safest there because it was all fucked up out where the monster people were. And she's like, we gonna get you out of this shit. We gonna get out of this shit. And of course, we have to go out the front door. But what is going on with the front door? The OSHA non-compliance of it all. Oh, you need 3 orbs or 3 cubes to get out the fucking door. Why the fuck is everything in Resident Evil just wildly OSHA non-compliant? What the fuck is that all about? Neither here nor there. So, she got to deal with the OSHA non-compliant door. And basically, we learn along the way that there's a T-virus mutation, and the T-virus mutation has something to do with memory. So when somebody has this gross-ass T-virus mutation infection, they'll still do the same shit that they were fucking doing before they became infectees, infectorinos. So basically, if you were a singer, because they had these 2 singing chicks, if you were a singer, you're going to sing, and your abilities are going to fuck up people. So, that's happening. I don't know where the chainsaw doctor came in, but I guess he had an affinity for chainsaws, and that's why he had a fucking chainsaw. I don't know. Whatever. That was happening. So, but basically, whatever the fuck you were doing when you got infected, you will continue to retain that with this new T-virus infection. So, basically, Grace ends up having to take the blind girl, because she does get her out of the cage that she's in, basically, or cell, my fault. And she has to, because the little girl is blind with cataracts, she can read Braille. One of those puzzle slots to get the last door cube together was in Braille. So break the child out, child reads Braille, child gets cube. But just as the child gets said cube, the fucked up monster comes in and grabs said child, and Grace jumps down a hole and goes to go save her. Leon, on the other hand, is being held hostage by Victor and basically gets out of the shit with Victor, but then like one of two big backs, that's what I'm calling the big backs, because they eat everything, including people. So he meets the other big bag, because Grace has one big bag, he has the other. He takes down that big bag, and then he goes and finds out that basically Leon has the gross stuff all over his hand. So, and so does Sherry. Sherry's infected with the new T virus mutation strain. So we go back to the sub basement where Emily, or Grace, is trying to save Emily. Let me see. Oh. I'm looking at my notes. There's a side note here that says, I realized when Grace finds Emily in a dungeon, I noticed that Grace did not pull the same stupid shit that Ethan pulled when he found his fucking wife in a dungeon. Did Grace sit there and be like, I don't know what's going on? What's happening? No. The bitch saved the little girl and was like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. There was nothing, I don't know what's going on. Fuck Ethan Winters. I am so glad he is dead. Neither here nor there. Just figured I'd throw that out there. So, basically, they get out of the shit, they get the cube, they go out the door, they find a helicopter, they find some black guy. He's like, my dumbass boss took the fucking key to the helicopter. So Grace has to go get the helicopter. She runs back into Victor Gideon, and then this part had me on the floor. He was like, you want to see what's under the hood? She's like, oh no, fuck you. She dipped. She super dipped. She was like, She just ran and like ran out the door, and I was on the floor. That might not have been that part, but either way, that part had me on the floor. So she ends up getting the key. They try to escape. It's monsters grouping. Blood is splashing everywhere. There's another evil within the mix of this. I'm just like, okay. So as they're trying to get away and all the monsters or all the infectorinos are grouping, the helicopter ends up crashing. The poor black man didn't make it. Emily's fucked up from this crash. So basically Leon sees the crash from a distance, has to sniper rifle their way out of this. They all end up getting together, going to the church. He sends Grace and Emily along while he does a boss fight. Boss fight goes down. Emily has to fight that fucked up monster again, who's like allergic to light or whatever. By the time she's done fucking around with that monster, Emily succumbs to her injuries, which also had me crying. And then Leon basically comes in and she's like, fuck this, I'm out, I'm done, I can't save anybody, I can't fix the situation, fuck this, I'm done. So she dips and she runs into Gideon again, and now we run into Zeno. I have thoughts on this. We will save my Zeno thoughts for a little bit later. So that's the end of that. And then oh, I got something here in red and yellow, but that's for like later. So Leon, okay, she leaves, and now we're going to Raccoon City. So Leon driving to Raccoon City because he's like, well, I think they're like, Sherry tells Leon they're heading to Raccoon City. So it is just like, oh God, why is everybody trying to like walk off their trauma? There's no walking that off. The only thing you can do is get some fucking counseling in your life, and that's it. There ain't no walking that off, but whatever. So Leon gets there, fights a giant spider. I have never screamed or not looked at a screen so hard in my life. I have horrible arachnophobia. That did my black ass no fucking favors, that boss fight. So he beats the giant spider, which was horrifying. Then, like, we go walking around Raccoon City. It's all blown out and fucked up. I did appreciate that they had those 90s cars sitting there, because Raccoon City should be a time capsule to like 1998. So, yeah. So, basically, he's walking around a blown out Raccoon City. He gets to like the main gate where it's like super cordoned off. And basically, you cannot get in unless you explode the gate, because you just can't get in there. So basically, the reason why Zeno, Gideon, and Grace are there is they're trying to get to something called Ark, and trying to get to some thing called Elpis. We will get into Elpis a little later. Leon ultimately ends up opening the gate, but the thing is, the BSAA has been here. Why the fuck the BSAA is in here trying to get to the Ark, we don't fucking know yet. So... But they're all at the Ark, or trying to get to Ark, trying to get to this Elpis stuff. And that's the crux of this situation. So, basically, Zeno gets there, and, hang on a second. There's like all this bickering back and forth about, because Zeno's there with Grace, but I think he was there before, because there was a BSAA team who had went in, which is why Leon's able to find like a detonator to blow up that gate. And Zeno had them people like wildly taken out. It was bad. So after he get them people taken out, there's like something about the North American branch has been acting independently of the rest of the branches of the BSAA. And I don't know if this has to do with their whole thing. Remember at the end of Resident Evil 8 where they were like, why does the BSAA have bioweapons all of a sudden? What the fuck was that all about? We never, ever got an answer to that. So there's more of that in this, and there's still no closure on that. Not to spoil it for later, but there's still no closure on that unless I fucking missed something. But I ain't seen no fucking closure on that. So that happened. But basically, Leon gets through the gate. He ends up seeing Gideon on a motorcycle, and there's like these upgraded Cerebuses, I don't know what the plural for Cerebus would be. Cereboppides? I don't know. Whatever. And before you come for me on the boppides, in British, I think extreme British vernacular, toppides is like, you can say octopodes for a plural for octopus. Yes, I'm a nerd and I know that, but whatever. So Leon takes a motorcycle. He gets to the heart of Raccoon City because that's where he was trying to get to. And then that's how we get to RPD. The RPD section is very interesting. It can be long or short depending on how you want to play it. My suggestion is you take the long way, because the long way has a bunch of little fun things. You can go back to the STARS office, which is always a treat for moi, because we love the STARS office. STARS jacket on. Wesker dog tag. So, and then like you pick up trinkets and stuff for your weapons, and you can pick up a trinket in there. There's like a little mini game you can play where you can like play hide and seek and find like zoo tickets that Barry was going to give to Leon. I don't know. But as you're done with the RPD section, you find Tofu. You see actual Tofu. Tofu peeks in the window, is like, hi, and then boinks off. So Tofu apparently is canon. So I appreciated that. That's what I'm saying. Go play the RPD section. It's optional, but you get some fun stuff there. I get if you're like newish, you're like Resident Evil 7, 8, and now 9 into the series, and you play RE4 remake, you're not gonna get all those references. But if you know those references and you're comfortable with going back in the RPD, because it is short, you don't have to be in there forever. My suggestion is go take that little side quest. Take it. It's fun. So, okay. We go back to Grace. Grace is with Zeno still. And, like, he's telling her, like, you're the key to opening up Elpis and getting our shit together. So, and then he shows her like something where there's this girl that looks like her, and like you find out there's like they've been like basically cloning Grace. I have questions about this, but that's for later. They've been cloning Grace, and like that's what that Raccoon City orphanage really was. It was like a holding spot for Grace clones. I don't know. It's important to the story, but I'm not gonna cover it because it's just it's one of those parts. It's creepy. It's creepy as fuck, by the way. But I'm not gonna cover for the story. Basically, every Grace clone gets got, and it's tragic and fucked up. So we're going around Raccoon City. After that part, Grace starts freaking out. Leon has met them, basically. Zeno is like, I got a friend for you, and it's Mr. X with no hat on. Where the fuck was your hat, Mr. X? And he and Mr. X have a battle royale. And then you go through the Kendo gun shop. You see like all the tragedy of the Kendo gun shop. You find Kendo's skeletonized remains on the floor. You're like, well, damn. So then you go through the orphanage real quick and find the rope that leads you down into the depths of hell. That is where the Ark is, but you gotta fight Plant 43. If you remember Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil 1 and its remake, Plant 42. Where the fuck is Plant 1 through 41? Before we get to 42 and 43? Neither here nor there. So Leon gets to the Ark. They're running around in the Ark. Zeno's trying to open up the Elpis holding thing, and he's like, Grace, you have to know the password. She's like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. How the fuck would I know the password? So Leon is degrading quickly. Like, he just been through some shit. He's getting all fucked up. And basically he finds Grace and Zeno. He saves Grace from Zeno, but again, he is falling apart at this point. Cause like I said, the man been through some shit, and he was already at stage 3 virus mutation. So all this running around ain't helping the situation. So Grace, cause they're stuck in like some dump somewhere in the Ark. Grace has to let him out. She goes and lets him out, and she finds some room that tells her a little bit about her past. And she sees her mom interviewing Spencer. Not quote Spencer. It is actual Spencer, but I'm a little bit miffed about this, which we will get into in a little bit. So she had to go deal with Spencer. Or she went to go interview Spencer, and we stopped right there for that. And then she lets Leon out. Leon escapes the dump. And then after a close encounter with some zombies, some lickers. Oh, he also, when he first gets in the Ark, fought like the elite squad of, I don't know who the fuck they were. But I thought Hunk got back into the mix, but it wasn't Hunk. It was just some dude. Whatever. But after like a close encounter with a bunch of naked zombies and fucked up lickers, Leon gets out. He is coughing up blood like real bad. It's just like, oh, this poor literally sick man, this is fucked up. So Grace watches yet another video, and is basically Spencer saying, I feel bad for what I did and what I caused and all the mayhem that I caused, and I shouldn't have did all this shit. And here's this random baby who is Grace. Why the fuck are we constantly taking care of your bastard children, fucking Spencer? What? Spencer gives Alyssa Grace, and that's why Alyssa's her mom and whatever, because Spencer made her take care of yet another random bastard child out there. And he's like, I just have hope that things will get better and blah, blah, blah. And that's what Elpis is. It's my hope, because after opening Pandora's box, there's the goddess of hope, Elpis. We will discuss this in a moment. So Grace finds Leon. They go back to go deal with Zeno. And like, you have an actual player choice here. You can either give the proper password, even though you think you don't know it, but you do know it, or you can give the not proper password, and giving the proper password will release Elpis. Giving the not proper password will destroy Elpis. So I have yet to see the destruction of Elpis ending as of right now. I will get around to it. I just don't particularly feel like it right now. So I've only seen releasing Elpis. So that is what we're going to cover. And now we're going to go into heavy spoilers. So it is what it is. And you take precautions where you need to. And I'm going to give you the good ending. Starting 5, 4, 3, 2, now. So the password is hope. Quick side note, which is a dumb thing that only 3 other people on this planet know about. Years ago, I did a Neon Genesis Evangelion like dub of my own with one of my former friends, and we did the episode where they went to go watch the non-Ava thing, and the password for that too was hope. And I was doing the voice of Misako, and I do the voice of the guy who gave out the password, and I was like, I was all hesitant. The password is hope. And I was like, for Misako, all right, y'all. So I have that written down here. Stupid joke. Makes no sense. Sorry. Had to edit because it had popped in my brain randomly when I was writing this. So had to share. Don't give a shit if you wanted to hear it or not. But you heard it. So I don't give a fuck. So basically, she gives out the good password. Zeno takes it like, oh, hell yes. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to start doing all this shit. We're going to be out here living our best lives. He takes it, and all that nonsense on his face cures. So basically, Zeno had Raccoon City Syndrome in the T-virus mutation. And he loses his powers because he had like Wesker-S powers. Again, we will be discussing this fool in a minute. So Gideon comes back because like he fell off the sign and looked like he blew up, but he came back after the motorcycle situation, and he's like, oh, this is great, my master really knew what he was, his master Spencer really knew what he was doing. Zeno and Gideon start bickering back and forth. Gideon kills Zeno. He just takes his head off, and I'm just like, so nobody fought Zeno even in a weakened human-esque state? There was an all in for that, but okay. So Grace gives Leon Elpis, because Elpis is a cure for all the bio nonsense going on. And Leon recovers immediately from, he needed to. He wasn't going to make it, y'all. He was fucked up. So he bounces back, he fights Gideon, takes Gideon down, and then it looks like he and Grace are going to be trapped inside the Ark, because the Ark is falling apart. And basically some people like open up like a ceiling or whatever, and they come like pouring down, and it's like some BS. I don't know who the fuck these people were. I'm assuming they were with Chris, so it's the Hound Wolf folks. So it wasn't even the BSAA, it's whatever the Hound Wolf people were. And he's like, oh, thank God Chris was late. And I'm like, God damn it, Chris! What? Oh, didn't we cover this on Resident Evil 8? That you have one job, one fucking job every time, and you fuck the shit up every time. Your dumb ass is late. He didn't even show up. I don't know where he was, like, jerking it. I don't know what the fuck the man was doing, but he was late as shit. Almost got a couple people killed. Par for the course for Chris, but what the fuck ever on that one. So they get out of the shit. Grace goes back to the FBI like none of this fucking happened. I don't know how you live your life after that. And she gives her report, which you can read her actual report at the end of this. And Spencer gets a redemption arc. Gideon's dead. And Sherry and Leon get cured. And because that's what Elpis did. And now we're going to get into how I feel. I liked this game. Let me reiterate this. I liked this game. They had me, and I was with them on this adventure until the Spencer redemption arc. And that is where I was like, the fuck? Who the fuck was out here asking for an Oswald E. Spencer redemption arc? That man was unapologetic, unrepentant up to the second Wesker killed him. And I think even as his stupid soul was leaving his decrepit body, he was still like, fuck it was worth it. I died as I lived crazy, but it was worth it. Why the fuck does he have a redemption arc? Of anybody in the Resident Evil series. That's not the motherfucker I would have wanted to have a redemption arc, because apparently all of this Xeno, all of this shit has to do with the connections. And this is the thing. The reason why Spencer got outed is because basically Wesker, he didn't realize it was working because Tricell had ties to the connections. Umbrella, the connections wanted Umbrella's resources, so they and bioweapons, which is resources, so they could take over. I don't fucking know. And they were working with the U.S. government, which is why the U.S. government pulled out of the bioweapons prohibition situation. And all of this had to do with the connections, and they threw Spencer under the bus. Why? Why was this the fuck necessary? Who the fuck asked for a redemption arc for Spencer? And kind of sort of Umbrella too. Because they were like, well, no. Umbrella wasn't the bad people. It's always the connections. It was the connection. Fine. So, while I had fun watching it, I was definitely fucking scared out of my goddamn gourd at points. I don't get the whole retconning of Spencer was even my fucking therapist knows that Spencer, Oswald fucking E. Spencer, was unrepentant at the end of his life. My therapist plays video games, and I've been telling her about my Resident Evil insanity. And she knows the plot, and she's like, because she was like, wait a minute, they redeemed Spencer, why? Because he was unrepentant. I'm like, thank you. That's what the fuck I'm screaming. Okay. Random fucking choice of all the choices on the planet, but I guess. So if any, y'all should have been redeeming this bitch back. Not that you're a bitch, I love you. But y'all should have been redeeming this motherfucker. Spencer? Okay. So there you have it. And let's talk about Xeno real quick. What the fuck was the point of that? Because I'm still baffled by the whole Xeno thing. Had me for a hot minute. Like, oh my god, they brought Wesker back. Holy shit, they brought Wesker back. No, it's Xeno. It's some motherfucker named Xeno. And I'm like, Gideon makes the statement right before he kills him, or like after he kills him, that you're a copy or a replica or some shit he said. And I'm like, of who? Because it definitely wasn't Wesker, because Wesker wouldn't have had Raccoon City Syndrome. Because, again, the Elpis cures all that nonsense he had on his face. So, who the fuck was he a clone of? And I'm starting to think, like, well, was he one of them leftover-ass Grace clones? Because when you're in the orphanage doing that creepy-ass orphanage part, there's a picture of Spencer with all the clone orphans. The Chlorphins, if you will. And some of them were girls and some of them were boys. So was he one of the Grace Chlorphins? Because, like, what the fuck was the point? And then he was with the connections. Because he was like, the connections is done with you when he and Gideon are bickering. And then Gideon kills him. And it's just like, so there's no fight with him. He's just kind of there to play with my balls. And my ball... Y'all, Capcom, I keep telling y'all, I'm a girl, my balls are internal. You do not want to play with those because they hurt me. And that fucking hurt me. Look, I love Wesker. I really do. But y'all need to make a goddamn commitment. Y'all need to commit. Either he is dead and y'all are fine with this, which it seems like, oh, he's dead and we're fine with this, but we're gonna fuck with you and give you a side character that's like Wesker, but it will never be Wesker. No. Unacceptable. Either commit to the idea that it is said and done and shut the fuck up about it and don't give me any more of these fucking side pocket motherfuckers. No more Jakes. No more Xenos. Either bring them back or don't. Stop doing this shit. Because honestly, it was fun until it wasn't, and then it had no point and it didn't go anywhere. And I'm just like, he was just there for I'm assuming he's there to test the waters to see if there really is still interest in Wesker. Hello! And if you look back there, there's like 2 fucking Wesker things up there too. Yes, there's interest. Commit to the bit or leave it the fuck alone. I can't do this with y'all in this like mamby-pamby bullshit of, oh, we might bring him back. Oh, we might not. We don't really know. We're trying to test the waters to see. I don't know. Ugh. Fucking pick a lane and stick with it. And if you do, by God, bring him back, do not fucking kill him ever again. And don't utilize him all the fucking time. Just every once in a while, just sprinkle him out here and there and show him like a pair of sunglasses sitting on a desk. We'll get it. Because somebody early on, because I was looking for spoilers, I ain't gonna front. Somebody was like, oh no, this also answers what happened in Umbrella Corps. No, the fuck it did not. Because in Umbrella Corps, Wesker was still experimenting on people. I don't know this Zeno didn't come off to me like a scientist. Like, Zeno ain't had no degrees. He had a doctorate. Get the fuck out of here. It wasn't Dr. Zeno. It's Dr. Albert Wesker. So, I don't know. It's just something that irks me real fucking bad. And I really wish they would stop doing it. Commit to the bit or don't. Commit to the bit or leave it the fuck alone. But I am not saying it was a bad game. I actually really enjoyed it for all the craziness that it was. I was scared. I had a good time. I would have given this an A+ had it not been for the Spencer redemption arc, and I gotta give it a B. I'll give it a B+. I'll be real nice, and I'll give it a B+. Because I really don't like, oh, we threw Spencer under the bus because the connections are really the evil ones. Interesting handle, but interesting thing, but I didn't like that part. So I'm fine with having the connections be a part of it. I'm not anti the connections. I'm just anti this fucking Spencer redemption bullshit. Then who the fuck was out here asking for that? Especially with a man who was up to the moment he died, did not give a fuck. And then all of a sudden, oh no, I feel guilty about all the shit that I did. It was good. I say go play it or watch it, enjoy it how you feel like you need to enjoy it, but I don't get what the fuck the point was for Zeno. I don't understand why the fuck Spencer has a redemption arc. Those are the reasons I gave it a B+. But it's good. Go play it. And that is all I have. I know I haven't talked about video games in a while. I know I'm backlogged that I never watched Silent Hill F. I tried to watch somebody's roundup of it, of like the story and stuff. I fell asleep on it. I think personally I'm done with Silent Hill. I saw the thing for Townfall and all the dumb bullshit that people had to say about the black guy being in it. So sick of this fucking argument with people, but that's a rant for another day. But I personally think I'm a little bit Silent Hilled out. So I don't know if I'll be watching Townfall. I may not. I don't know yet. But I know I'm backlogged on video games. I just recently started watching horror games beyond Resident Evil. I just recently got back into watching horror games. I hadn't watched them in a very long time. And I missed it. I'm not going to front. But it was good to come back to Resident Evil, because I will always, as long as I live and breathe, I will do a Resident Evil review. On the day of its actual 30th anniversary, I will probably do a deep dive into my situation with Resident Evil. Like I said, I've been here from Jump Street, and Until the day I die, I'll be on the Resident Evil boat. So with the rest of the fucking BOW monsters. So that is all I have. And I am sorry this is long, but I did warn you it was gonna be long. So go and enjoy this game. It is really good. I'm not surprised, but I am really happy that you could see all the love and care that they put into this. So I'm glad it worked out, and it is really good. It's just there were a couple things that I took severe issue with, and that's why not an A plus, a B plus. So until next time, whenever that may be, later.